If you care about the truth, I mean the actual truth, not the spin we get fed on cable news, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on notifications, because what happened this morning in Washington didn't just break the news cycle. It broke the entire strategy of the Republican Party. And, more importantly, it sent a wave of absolute panic all the way down to Mar-a-Lago. Here's what we know. At approximately 9 a.m. this morning, Republican leadership thought they had the perfect trap. They had issued subpoenas to Bill and Hillary Clinton regarding the Jeffrey Epstein files, fully expecting them to fight it, to claim privilege, or to hide behind lawyers. That was the plan. Force them to say no so the GOP could go on TV and scream, "Cover up!" But at 10:15 a.m., the trap snapped shut on the wrong people. The Clintons didn't just accept the subpoena. They didn't just say yes. They demanded that their testimony be done in public, on live television, with zero redactions. Let me say that again so it lands properly. The people who were supposed to be running away from the spotlight just turned around and demanded a microphone. What happened next is something that hasn't occurred in Washington in decades. The hunters suddenly became the hunted. And the person most terrified by this development isn't Bill Clinton. It's Donald Trump. Let me take you through the sequence of events, because the details matter enormously here. To understand why Trump is panicking, you have to understand the game that was being played. For the last 3 months, the House Oversight Committee, led by James Comer, has been teasing this Epstein accountability hearing. The narrative was simple. The Democrats are hiding the truth, and the Republicans are going to drag it into the light. It was a perfect political weapon. They sent the subpoena to the Clintons on Tuesday. The expectation in every GOP office was that the Clintons would file a motion to quash. They expected a legal fight that would drag on until November, keeping the words Clinton and Epstein in the headlines without ever actually having to hold a hearing. But here's where you need to understand the context. 48 hours before this acceptance letter arrived, something happened that we only know about because of a leak from a junior staffer. There was a private conference call between Trump's legal team and GOP leadership. The mood was celebratory. They thought they had the ultimate wedge issue. But they forgot one crucial thing about Bill and Hillary Clinton. Love them or hate them, they are political grandmasters. They looked at this subpoena and saw something the Republicans didn't: an opportunity. You see, Bill Clinton knows he is already in the files. The photos are out. The flight logs are public. He has calculated that the damage is already done. But he also knows that Donald Trump is also in those files. Trump also flew on the plane. Trump also partied at the studio. By agreeing to testify publicly, the Clintons are essentially saying, "We have nothing left to hide." Do you? Now, I need to pause here for a second, because this is a wild strategy. I want to know what you think. Are the Clintons actually doing this because they want the truth out? Or is this just a masterclass in political 4D chess to trap Trump? Go down to the comments section right now. Pause the video if you have to, and type "truth" if you think they're being honest, or "trap" if you think this is a political game. I'll be reading the first 500 comments personally. Okay, back to the timeline. When that letter arrived accepting the public hearing, the mood in the GOP conference room reportedly shifted from celebration to chaos. Why? Because you cannot hold a public hearing with Bill Clinton about Jeffrey Epstein without someone asking about the other former president who called Epstein a terrific guy. This brings us to the character of Donald Trump in this specific moment. Now, I need you to understand something about Trump. He thrives on conflict. Usually. He loves a fight. But there is one thing he loves more than a fight: the ex-president's club. There is an unwritten rule in American history. Former presidents do not testify. They do not get dragged before Congress. They have a shield called executive privilege and a broader tradition of deference. It's the one shield Trump has been relying on to delay his own legal cases. When Bill Clinton said, "I'll testify," he didn't just accept a subpoena. He smashed that shield into a million pieces. And that is why the phone lines at Mar-a-Lago started melting down. This is where the story moves from a political game to a full-blown crisis for Trump. Within an hour of the news breaking that the Clintons were all in, reporters caught up with Donald Trump. Now, usually, this would be Christmas morning for him. His old rival, Crooked Hillary and Slick Willie, are about to be grilled about a sex trafficker? He should be dancing on the table. But look at what he actually said. According to NBC News, when asked about the subpoena, Trump didn't attack. He defended. He allegedly stated, "It bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See, I like Bill Clinton. I still like Bill Clinton." He went on to say, "I think it's a shame. I hate to see it." Let that sink in. The man who chanted, "Lock her up," the man who brought Bill Clinton's accusers to a presidential debate, is now saying it's a shame that Congress is investigating him. Why? If you're finding this analysis valuable, hit that like button right now, because this story is about to get significantly more complicated. Here's the mystery revelation that explains Trump's sudden change of heart. It's not about friendship. It's about mutual assured destruction. Legal experts are pointing out that if Bill Clinton sits in that chair, raises his right hand, and answers questions about Jeffrey Epstein, he creates a precedent. He proves that a former president can and should answer questions about criminal associations. If the committee asks Bill Clinton, "Did you see illegal acts on that island?" and he answers, the very next question from the Democrats will be to subpoena Donald Trump and ask the exact same thing. And Trump knows he cannot answer those questions. Let me connect some dots here, because this is where the panic becomes real. Dot number 1. The flight logs. We know Trump flew on Epstein's plane. Dot number 2. The quotes. Trump famously said Epstein liked women on the younger side. Dot number 3. The Ghislaine Maxwell connection. Trump wished her well when she was arrested. By agreeing to a public hearing, the Clintons have removed the one excuse Trump had to avoid testifying. Presidents don't do that. Well, Bill Clinton just said, "Yes, we do." And the panic isn't just coming from Trump. It's coming from the Oversight Committee itself. Sources inside the committee are reporting that Chairman Comer is now frantically trying to figure out how to limit the scope of the hearing. They wanted a show trial where they could control the clips. Instead, they are getting a live fire exercise. Imagine the scene. Bill Clinton is sitting there. A Republican asks him about Epstein. Clinton leans into the microphone and says, "I cut ties with him in 2005. But your candidate, Donald Trump, kept partying with him for another decade. Why aren't you asking him?" On live TV, on every network. That is the nightmare scenario. And it's why Trump is suddenly talking about Bill Clinton like they are best friends. He is trying to signal to the GOP, shut this down, do not let this happen. But it's too late. The letter is sent. The press release is out. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Then came the moment that changed everything for the public perception of this case. While Trump was offering these bizarre defenses of Bill Clinton, legal scholars started weighing in on what this actually means for the future of the presidency. We aren't just watching a political spat. We are watching the erosion of the imperial presidency. For decades, presidents have acted like they are above the law. They have treated Congress like a nuisance, not an oversight body. Trump took this to the extreme, defying subpoenas left and right. But the Clintons' move today is a vindication for everyone who said that no man is above the law. And the consequences were immediate. Within hours of the Clintons' announcement, we saw a massive shift in the tone of the media coverage. Fox News, which had been hyping this hearing for weeks, suddenly stopped talking about it. The banner headlines disappeared. Why? Because the narrative of "the Democrats are hiding" collapsed. Instead, the narrative became "the Democrats are ready to talk. Where is Trump?" As one former federal prosecutor told MSNBC this afternoon, "This is the checkmate move. You cannot claim a witch hunt when the witches are volunteering to be weighed." Consider the impact on the Republican base. They have been promised for years that the Epstein files would destroy the Democratic Party. They have been told that Clinton is the mastermind. Now, they are watching Clinton volunteer to testify, while their own leader, Trump, is nervously telling them to back off. The cognitive dissonance is deafening. And looking at the evidence cascade, we have to talk about the other players in this drama. Prince Andrew in the UK is watching this. Foreign leaders are watching this. If a former US president testifies, the pressure on Prince Andrew to speak to the FBI becomes unbearable. The pressure on every other powerful man in those flight logs to explain themselves becomes overwhelming. The Clintons didn't just open a door. They blew a hole in the wall of silence that has protected the elite for 20 years. And Trump knows that once that wall comes down, he is standing right there in the rubble. This wasn't just about politics anymore. It was about truth. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like the truth might actually have a fighting chance. So, what happens next? Monday morning is going to be one of the most important days in recent political history. The Oversight Committee has to respond. They have two choices, and both of them are bad for Trump. Choice 1. They accept the public hearing. They put Bill Clinton on TV. They get their clips, but they also give Clinton a platform to attack Trump, and they set the precedent that drags Trump into the witness chair. Choice 2. They find an excuse to cancel. They say, "Oh, the terms weren't right," or "We need to review more documents first." If they do that, if they back down now, they admit to the entire world that this was never about justice. They admit it was a hit job that failed. And Trump? He will spend the weekend at Mar-a-Lago, calling every ally he has, trying to ensure that this hearing never sees the light of day. He will praise Bill Clinton again. He might even attack the Republicans for wasting time. But the damage is done. The real damage here extends far beyond any verdict in a court. It's about the court of public opinion. What we witnessed today was the moment the executive shield cracked. When former presidents stop hiding and start testifying, the shadows get a lot smaller. And Donald Trump has spent a lifetime living in those shadows. This isn't just about one hearing or one subpoena anymore. It's about whether we still believe, genuinely, that the truth matters more than the power of the people trying to hide it. The Clintons called the bluff. Now, the world is waiting to see if Trump folds. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because this story is moving fast. When the GOP responds on Monday, when Trump inevitably posts a frantic message at 2 a.m., and when we finally find out if this hearing is a go, you will want to know immediately. Hit that like button if you think Trump should testify too. Leave a comment telling me if you think the GOP will actually go through with this hearing now that the bluff is called. And share this video with anyone who cares about whether American democracy can survive what's being done to it. The answer to that question will shape this country for generations. I'll see you Monday, when the committee responds.